Hey, what's up, guys? It is Mark Yoon, and today I am brought to you with my special friend and special guest star, Rich. Would you like to say hi? Of course you would.
How's it going, everybody? Ragiroth here.
And it's such a
Yeah,
standout
'cause that's
guy.
the greeting I usually use in my videos.
And keep being awesome. Okay, end the video. Roll credits. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let's go. So we're both here today to speak about a few things around the subject of Mortal Kombat 11 because we know we're all hyped for it because it's coming out soon. So tell us what we're going to start with today, Rich.
Alright, so we got a big data mine of 9 DLC characters in Mortal Kombat 11, and we wanted to talk about, I guess, how valid, these leaks are, or how most likely they are.
Yeah, so the likelihood of the validity of said leaks, because I've gotten a lot of comments on my video that I posted earlier today, which will be, if you're in the future and this is you watching it, it'll probably be yesterday, of people doubting the leaks based on some very few criteria, and we're going to go over why those criticisms and skepticisms are reputable, but we don't think they're very valid. We think the actual leaks are true because we have a number of sources corroborating the same information. So let's go by this point by point and try and get through this quickly. So Rich, do you want to bring up one point about the validity of it first, and then I'll move on and we'll go it that way?
Alright. Yeah, okay, this is an obvious one, but, can we count how many times this has happened? And usually the characters do wind up being in the game. It literally just happened, at least most likely. No, actually, it was, with a Jump Force, for instance. So, this is already a very common thing. So that's one thing. Then, I know, well, a lot of people think that the names are jokes or trolls or code names. But that's the thing, they've usually been code names when they've done it in the past. But none of these really look like code names.
And they're not as obvious either, because people were mentioning this about Mortal Kombat X and E3, and the code names that were found out then were ridiculous names like Harry Potter, which obviously was referring to magic, which is probably code for Quan Chi. But obviously no one's gonna put freaking Harry Potter in the damn Mortal Kombat X, so it's not like we were...
What a shame.
And then, we had, Neo, which is, apparently he was being considered as well, but after he didn't get in, he was code for our boy Kenshi, which is just, blind Keanu Reeves. So, I mean, those...
I can't see.
Those add a little bit of validity to the point. Just the fact that, you can't... you can't... Correlation does not equal causation, I'm pretty much trying to say. Just because something happens one time, and it doesn't even happen in the way you do it, it wasn't a troll. It was literally a code name, and every game does that. This game just happens to be a little more forthright and go against not even doing it, because these have been confirmed. Because what are these leaks, Rich? How did we obtain these leaks?
People have went through the files of the games, multiple people.
On multiple systems, mind you.
Yeah, also, people originally found it on the Switch version, and the Switch version is being ported by a different company called, Shiver or something, that NetherRealm obviously isn't NetherRealm Studios, so they may not even think to, use Joker code names as well.
Right. I'd even say and the people who have the PS4 early releases and stuff and have data mined it are coming up with the same conclusion. It's coming up with the same files.
Yeah.
So if both of them are correlating completely in sync, there's no reason that we should actually be doubting this. I mean, I understand skepticism as a skeptic myself, but there's a difference between skepticism and there's a difference between prejudging something. So when you're taking one point of evidence from the past and twisting it and correlating it to whatever you want to say, that's not being skeptical, that's being apologetics. So I also am... I understand people, don't want to believe them. Some people have problems with the roster, with the DLC. I don't, actually. I think it's a great set.
Yeah, I'm overall pretty happy.
Except for, I don't really want
some people
Joker,
think it's a joke. Yeah, I know. Some people think, oh, well, Fuji's on it, so it's obviously a joke. I'm like, come on, guys. I know it's I know being a Fujin fan is rough, but it's come on. I think there's not many other 3D era characters they would prioritize over him. So come on.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
I agree. I mean, that's not that's not the only point too. There's other reasons to believe it too. You want to go on with the next point?
Yeah. So, like there's been like rumors from people that have like leaked things before this game, like since a little before release, and I have heard literally all of these DLC characters that were listed were in the rumors I heard. There's not like any of them that like didn't. I mean, yeah, I originally heard Shang Tsung was going to be unlockable, but it's like he still wound up being in the game. I just figured he pushed maybe one of the characters I heard from the first combat pack to like the second or something.
Not to mention,
and like I know, yeah,
most of these are characters that we've been getting hinted at since Mortal Kombat X anyway that have been in polls. Like, we're talking about characters like Terminator, and the only one that's not showing up that has been in polls before is Mike Myers, but we have no idea why he's not in there. Maybe he'll be in a Season 2, or maybe they're having problems with the licensing. I don't know.
I did hear a rumor initially he was going to be Pack 2, but then I heard a different rumor about Pack 2, and he wasn't on it. But like, yeah, like, all of these characters are either requested, or, like, obvious, or, like, relevant or something. They all have at least some reason to be in. Obviously, some more than others, but, you know, there's not... I mean, I know that the Joker is probably the most outlandish and not that appealing one to most people, but there are still reasons that I understand why they put him in.
To correlate with the new movie coming out with what's his face? I forget his name.
Yeah, with
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. with Signs baseball guy, and they also do Injustice, which is like Joker Central. So I mean,
yeah, Joker I think is basically kind of like the equivalent of Sub-Zero or Raiden being Injustice 2, which I am not crazy about at all. But I see, you know,
why they would.
I see why it would be a thing.
It's a little bit of cross promotion for them too, with people that maybe didn't play MK8 and like don't know about if they want to play the Injustice games or not, because they're a little bit more niche than the Mortal Kombat games obviously are. So the more they cross-promote each other, the more people get on board with playing them. So that's a big reason why he would be in there too. I mean, Mortal Kombat doesn't always like promote characters that have upcoming events. Like Leatherface, for example, was in the last game, but I don't think he had anything upcoming. Like I know.
I thought there was a new Texas Chainsaw movie that was coming out like later. And also, I think it also might be because the creator recently had died, so maybe they wanted to kind of pay him
homage
or something.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, there would be reasons for this too. Terminator, it just got announced that Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be starring in a new Terminator movie, even though he's like fucking...
Yeah, exactly.
Even though he's like in his 70s.
All of these characters either have a movie or coming out or had something recently. Like, I know Ash doesn't really have anything coming out, but the Ash vs. Evil did finish up, and he's retiring the character, but I guess maybe he kind of wanted to have one last send-off and maybe be in a couple video games or something, which I think is cool.
I mean, this would immortalize the character, because a lot more people play Mortal Kombat than watch those movies, because they're a bit niche even for horror, or even among horror fans.
Yeah, they're like kind of, I don't know, they're like niche but not niche at the same time, but yeah.
Well, they were culty, and then like they became more mainstream when like the popularity rose. I mean, Bruce Campbell being a big reason why that happened, because he's so charismatic, and he makes the movie, especially his style of comedy, like Hail to the King, baby. But I don't know, like I'm actually excited about him. But what we're trying to say is everybody has a reason for being in this game. It's not like any of them are outlying like why are they here. Like Shiva's in the story. Fujin obviously was played up big in the last game, and he should be in this game.
People have been requesting him like crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Which I'm happy that you actually get him, because I know he was like one of your top wanted choices. Spawn has been being talked about since Soul Calibur 6. So that's why. He was obviously in Soul Calibur 2.
I think Spawn has been a requested guest character since. I thought MKX, but I actually hear some people say he was even requested back in MK9.
Yeah, he was. There was like rumors going around that he was actually going to be in, but I think they didn't clear everything with Todd yet, and at that time, Todd didn't really want his character being put in anything else. But
yeah, it was MKX. That was when I think he talked to them.
Yeah, it was during MKX, and like also now the movie's in production, because they're making a movie starring Jamie Foxx of Spawn, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
So that's he also has a direct correlation to cross-promotion as well.
So yeah, all of these guests I think make sense in some way or another.
If you like it or not. I mean, like, there's characters that I didn't really care about having last game. I didn't really care about having Leatherface, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, I was not happy about him.
I'm not that big of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. The only one I actually like is the reboot with Jessica Biel, which everybody hates. So apparently my taste is different. But I mean, overall, it looks like a very Mortal Kombat-y cast, though. Like, I've seen people saying it's fake because of what happened in Mortal Kombat 10. You can't compare this to that because it's much more logical to have like other horror movie icons like Terminator and so forth in this game as opposed to Harry Potter and Neo and who else did they say? Well, they said there was like really outlandish out there characters that were like in the codes for the last game.
I don't even remember there being like fake names for MKX's DLC.
Yeah, there was. It was like a they were code names in the files and people data mined them and I remember a bunch of them. Like there was.
Well, but the thing is, the ones you listed, they were all characters in the base roster, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like when people were originally data mining the actual game, I'm not talking about DLC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a totally different scenario.
But that's the evidence that they're using, and it's not an equal 1 and 2. You're comparing apples to oranges. That's a completely different scenario. So you can't take that and then run with every single Mortal Kombat data mine from now on is going to be a troll. That's not how logic and reason works. Like you just don't do that.
Yeah.
You have to follow the evidence. You can't prescribe evidence and then follow your points up. That's not how you can't. That's not how logic works. It's a fallacy.
Yeah.
It's a literal fallacy called the argument from personal incredulity. So if anybody takes any psychology classes will figure that out. Or debate classes even. But so yeah, all of these points, we don't want to touch on this too much. We just want to lend some credence to it. There are other points that we could get into, but the video is already at 12 minutes. And we don't want to make this entire video about that because we also wanted to build some hype and not make it so cut and dry.
Oh, a couple things is I did hear like all these characters are going to be DLC along with Reiko and Serena. They're unfortunately not on the list. I hope they're added later.
They could be in Pack 2.
You know, yeah. And also, like, I do hope that this order isn't true.
Yeah,
because that means Fujin is second to last, and Spawn would be the last character in Pack 1, and Joker would be the second. I should say that the order I heard that was rumored does not really match up with this. So I'm hoping that proves true, but I don't know. I mean, the one bright side I can look at is if this is the order, I'll at least get Nightwolf like third, and I do like Nightwolf, but you know, we'll see with that. I know Jump Force's DLC data mine, it wasn't in the exact order it came out in, even though I know it's a totally different company, but just worth pointing out.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly what they're going to stick to as far as orders go. They may switch it up, or we don't know how they're actually going to release it. But they have a roadmap, and all this stuff has been planned out probably for like over a year already. So it's not like we can do anything about it. But
I also think Joker makes more sense to come out in October for Pack 2 because that's when the movie comes out. Even though if it's monthly, Spawn would be coming out in October, and he kind of makes sense as well. But
well, if it's
I think Joker makes more sense.
If it's cross promotion, I think it actually does make more sense that Joker will be first, because if the movies come out in October, they don't want to release the character in October because they want months of building hype for that. So that would be coming out alongside of trailers, which we've just seen the first trailer drop. So it would make sense to actually have him come out in the summer. Personally, that's what I think, just from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.